Good day, everyone. I am Angela Sevilla from BSED 1A, and I will be the one to introduce to you the review on productivity tools. I know that you are already familiar with Microsoft Word, but first let's define what is Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is a popular word processing software developed by Microsoft. It allows users to create, edit, and print documents. As a student, we often use Microsoft Word to accomplish some documents for academic works, and that's why we are already familiar with Microsoft Word. Now, when you open the Microsoft Word, you can get to know to the basic windows that are provided by Microsoft Word. The first one is the File tab. What is File tab? When we say File tab, it replaces the Office button from Word 2007. The File tab has its basic functions. The first one is new. The new, when you tap new, it creates a new document. Second one is open, to open an existing document. The third is to save a document. And the fourth one is save as. Save as is different from save because save a document, while save as is it save a document with a different name or location. Take note with that distinction. Print, to print the document, close, to close the document, and lastly exit is to exit the Microsoft Word toolbar. Quick access toolbar, you can find it just above the file tab, and sabi niya dito, this is a convenient resting place for the most frequently used commands. For instance, instead na pumunta ka pa sa file tab to save a certain document, punta ka na lang sa quick access toolbar and just one tap is masisave na yung document mo. Kaya niya sinabi na through quick access toolbar is magiging convenient dahil andito na yung mga mostly used commands mo. And now, let's proceed to ribbon. Ribbon encompasses or contains of three components. The first one is tabs, groups, and commands. The first component of ribbon is tabs. When we say tabs, these appear across the top of the ribbon and contain groups of related commands. These are the home, insert, page layout are examples of ribbon tasks. One of the functions of Home tab is you can change font type, size, and color. Also, the other function of Home tab is to align text to to the left, center, or right. While the Insert tab, you can insert an image from a file or online source, or create a table with a specified number of rows and columns. And on the layout type, you can set the margins for the document and set the page size. And the review tab, you can check the document for spelling and grammar errors. Now groups. Groups, they organize related commands. Each group name appears below the group on the ribbon. For example, group of commands related to fonts. The group of commands related to fonts is where you can change font type and size and also the color. And while commands related to alignment, you can align the text, change line spacing, and format paragraphs. Lastly, the last component for ribbon is the commands. The commands appear within each group as mentioned above. In commands, you can make selected text bold, and also you can make selected text italic. So now, sa rulers naman tayo. So in rulers, there are two types of rulers, the horizontal ruler and the vertical ruler. So the function of horizontal ruler is it appears just beneath the ribbon. And ginagamit ito para mag-set ng margin kung ano yung gusto nating margin. And also, it is the tab stops. And now let's talk about the vertical ruler. So vertical ruler, it appears on the left edge of the word Windows, and the functions of vertical ruler in MS Word is to set margins on borders, align text and objects, adjust the width of the columns and tables, position graphics and images, and also it sets tab, stops, and indents. Now, so the help icon can be used to get word-related help anytime you like. This provides nice tutorial on various subjects related to Word. So for instance, you do not know how to save the file that you created. So, kung itatap mo si help icon, so yun, makakakuha ka ng tutorial or assistance kung paano isave yung file na gusto mong isave. Zoom control. So zoom control, it lets you zoom in for a closer look at your text. The zoom control consists of slider that you can slide left or right, so that's one of the functions to zoom in or out, or you can click the plus buttons to increase or the minus button to decrease the zoom factor. So if you want to zoom it in, so you can add or increase the um, zoom factor. So now, the view button, it is a group of 5 buttons located to the left of the zoom, and it lets you switch through the words various documents views. So the 5 buttons that we are talking about in view button is the print layout, full screen reading, web layout display, outline, and draft. Is the print layout. So the print layout displays pages exactly as they will appear when printed. So in the view button of MS Word, print layout is used to show how the document will look when printed, and view headers, footers, and watermarks. And the default view in MS Word, allowing you to see your document as it will appear on paper. So, yung full screen reading view naman, this gives a full screen view of the document. So, dinidisplay niya yung document in a full screen format, and it focuses on reading without editing capabilities. While the web layout view, this shows a document appears when viewed by a web browser such as Internet Explorer. So this view is helpful when creating content for the web, as it allows you to see how your document will appear online. So for instance, you want to post or you want to post something on web browser. So, this web layout view, ipapakita niya kung paano ma-view yung document na yon na ipopost mo sa web browser. While outline view naman, this lets you work with outlines established using Word's standard heading styles. So, this view is helpful for planning, organizing, and outlining documents, as well as for reviewing and revising their structure. And lastly, the draft view. So this format text as it appears on the printed page with a few exceptions. So for example, headers and footers aren't shown. Most people prefer this mode. Also, this view is helpful for editing and revising text as it removes distractions. So like what I've said in my example, most people prefer not seeing or headers are and footers aren't shown. because it allows you to focus and removes distraction of the content. Document area. So this is the area where you type. So for instance, when we need to accomplish something like academic work, so dito yung area na kung saan we are going to make our draft or tayo ay magta-type. And yung the flashing vertical bar, yung nakikita nyo din dyan sa mismong document area, is yun yung insertion point na ang nire-represent niya is yung location or kung nasaan na yung text and kung saan ito mag-a-appear or nag-a-appear ito kapag nagta-type ka. Now is the dialog box launcher. So this appears as very small arrow in the lower right corner of many groups on the ribbon. So for example, in the font group, clicking the dialog box na naka-place siya sa lower right corner of many groups is opens the font dialog box. So dito, you can access more advanced font settings. And also, clicking these buttons opens a box or task pane that provides more options about the group. Okay, so like what I've said in my example, so if you click the dialog box and you will open the font group, you can access more advanced font settings. Justified text. So select the text or paragraph you want to modify. And on the home tab, click under the paragraph group. And as you can see, is ano mo yung justified text. And also, you can also click the Control plus J to achieve, to make your text justified. And we are utilizing or using justify to align our text for like academic papers or requirements in our school. So, when you click the File tab, so magpapakita ang Backstage view, and the Backstage view was introduced in Word 2010. So, this acts as the central place for managing your documents. So, yung Backstage view is dun makikita yung new to create a new document, to save, pag-open ng document, to print, sharing document, and so on, na i-explain din after this. So these are the S number options and description. So una yung save. So an existing document is open, it will be saved as is, otherwise it will display a dialog box asking for the document name. So I know that you already know kung anong purpose ng save, para hindi na mabubura yung document na ginawa mo and para ma-ensure na nakasave na nga ito. And after ma-save, diba, is meron yung magdi-display sa screen or sa monitor yung dialog box for asking for document name. So tayo yung naglalagay ng name ng document na isi-save natin. So dito naman sa Save As, a dialog box will be displayed asking for document name and document type. By default, it will save in Word 2000 extension doc. So dito naman sa Save As is dito malalaman or ikaw ang mismong maglalagay kung saan mo gustong i-save yung i-save or i-place yung document. For instance, gusto mong i-place siya sa isang new folder or gusto mong i-place siya sa desktop instead sa downloads. So, yun yung function naman ni Save As. And open, very basic. So, yung option na to is para mag-open ng existing Word document. So, kung may open kanina, ngayon naman is to close. So, this option is used to close an open document. So, kunwari, nag-open ka ng document, so yun, pwede mo siyang i-close. So, dito naman sa info, this option displays information about the open document. So, yung info naman, mostly ang pinapakita is yung pangalan or name ng document and kailan ito na-save and saan ito na-place or like kung sa desktop ba, gano'n. And recent naman, this option lists down all the recently opened documents. So, dito makikita kung ano yung mga inopen mong documents. Yan. And new, this option is used to open a new document. So, kung gusto mong mag-open ng new document, so you can just tap the new. So, after saving the documents, syempre, if we need a hard copy, so, eto, itatap natin yung print. So, this option is used to print an open document. So, maging hard copy na, yung soft copy na i-save natin. Yung save and send naman, this option will save an open document and will display options to send the document using email. So, yung document is kung na-save na, pwede rin siyang isend via email, messenger, and sa help naman, this option is used to get the required help. So, na-explain ko na rin to earlier kung may mga katanungan tayo na about sa Microsoft Word, kung paano mag-save ng document, for instance, is tinutulungan tayo ng help icon. Options. So this option is used to set various choices related to Word 2010. So yung options, nagpo-provide siya ng various choices for us users. And exit is use this option to close the document and exit. So the first one is changing the font. So Word's default font on each new document is set to Calibri. In order to change the font of the document, follow the steps below. So as you can see is dyan sa part na yan tayo mag-change ng font, yung na-highlightan. So ang first na step na gagawin is select the text you want to modify. So kailangan na i-highlight using your mouse or i-double tap para ma-highlight yung sentences or words na gusto mong palitan ng font. And second one is on the home tab, click the drop down arrow and the font box. So as you can see is yung drop down arrow, yun yung itatap and ang magpapakita is multiple fonts. So select the font style you want to use. So dito na pwede ka nang mag-use ng font style. Kunwari gusto mo ng Gothic, Century Gothic, or Arial, so you can use na or choose na. So if you can change the font, so you can also change the font color. So how to change font color? So I know that you are already know this also. So yung yung pag-change naman ng font color is select the text you want to modify. Same as well lang din dun sa pag-change ng font color, i-highlight mo yung gusto mong text na i-modify. Tapos, home tab ka din na pupunta and click the drop-down arrow in the font size box. So, i-click mo lang din ulit yung drop-down arrow sa font size box. And yun na, magpro-provide na siya or magpapakita na siya ng different colors ng font and you can select na the font size or rather the font color you want to use. If you can change the font style and also the font color, you can also change the font size. So, same process lang din sila. Select the text or highlight the text you want to modify. Tapos, punta ka lang ulit sa home tab, click the drop-down arrow in the font color box. The font color menu will appear. So, tapos doon is magpapakita na yung iba't ibang colors and that allows you to choose what font color you want to use. Okay, so the first one is making the text bold. So, the reasons why we are making the text bold is we want to put an emphasis sa sentences na yon or words na yon. And these are the steps on how to make the text bold. So, the first select the text you want to modify. Syempre, i-highlight mo lang ulit yung the text you want to modify or change. Pangalawa naman is on the home tab, click the font bold. So as you can see, um, you can click the font bold there at the bottom of the font styles. And number three is you may also press the keys Control B in the keyboard to make the selected text bold. So there are two types on making the text bold. So una is um, click the home tab and click the font bold B, and also you can just click the Control plus B to make the text bold. So same as well in making the text bold. So the first step that you will do is to select the text you want to modify. Second one is click the home tab or click the italic button in the font group. And um, lastly is if you don't want to click the home tab and click the font italic button in the font group, so you may also press the keys Control plus I to make the selected text italic. So if earlier we talk about how to make the text bold, how to make the text italic. Now we will talk about how to make the text underline. So same as well. So select the text you want to modify, and on the home tab, click the font italic. Now, how to left align text. So the first one or the first thing that you will do is select the text or paragraph you want to modify. So as you can see sa picture na andyan is may na-highlight siya. So on the home tab, after highlighting or selecting the text you want to modify, so you will go on the home tab, click the under the paragraph group. And as you can see, may arrow doon na tinuturo yung left align text, and you will choose it para ma-achieve yung left align text. Center align text. So same process lang ulit, highlight or select the text you want to modify. So as you can see, may naka-highlight na dyan. And after you highlighted, click the home tab, and as you can see, is makikita na yung center align text, and just stop it and you will achieve it already. Now is creating a bullet list from an existing text. So the first process that you will do is to select the text you want to modify. So same as well sa process or pag-select to align text. Number two is on the home tab, click the drop down arrow in the bullet box under the paragraph group. And if you do that, now you can select the bullet you want to use. Creating a numbered list from an existing text. So same as well, highlight or select the text you want to modify. The second one is click the home tab and click the drop down arrow in the numbering box under the paragraph group. And if you do that also, now you can select the numbering style and alignment you want to use. And lastly, creating a bullet list or numbered style as you type. So the first one is highlight the text you want to create a bullet or numbering box under the paragraph group, select the list or style you want to use, and now you can type your list then press enter. So makikita na yung naka-numbered form or naka-bullet list. So now add header and or footer. So the first thing that you will do is click insert tab. The second one is click the header or footer in the header and footer group. The third one is select the header or footer style you want to use. So there are numerous header or footer style. So just choose the header or footer style you want to use. Lastly, type the information you want to appear in your header or footer. Page number. So how to add page number? So same as well, you need to click Insert tab. Second one is click the page number in the header and footer group. And the third one, in the option menu, select where you want your page number to appear. So as you can see, there are many choices there where you want your page number to appear. Also, it can be top of the page, bottom of page, page margins, or current position. And the fourth one is click the style you want to use. Now is the page break. So page break tells the printing device where to end the current page and begin the next. Now is insert page. So the first thing that you will do is place your cursor before the text you want to appear on the next page. And the second one is click insert tab. I know you already know how where to find the insert tab. And number three is click the page break in the pages group. Now is to insert a table. So the first one that you will do is to click insert tab, and and after that click the table button in table group. So after clicking the tables button in table group, you can move your mouse over the green cells. It makes a table and that appears in the document. You can make your table having the desired number of rows. So if you want to have 6 rows and 4 columns, so just move your mouse over the grid cells. And lastly, to select any of styles, just click the built-in table style and you will see that the selected style has been applied on your table. Now is how to delete a table. So earlier we talked about how to insert a table. Now we will talk about how to delete a table. So the first thing that you will do is click anywhere in the table you want to delete. So for example, you want to delete the first column, so you can click that and click the layout tab and click the delete table option under the delete table. And after clicking that, is that you can now see that the rows or columns that you want to delete is deleted. Now is how to merge cell. So the first thing that you will do is bring your mouse pointer position inside the first cell that you want to merge. And after that, you can now press the shift key and click the cells around the cell which you want to merge into the first cell. This will highlight the cells which you click and they will be ready to be merged. And lastly, after you finish that processes, now you can click the layout tab and then click the merge cells button which will merge all the selected cells. Now is to split cell. So the first thing that you will do, same as well on how to merge cell or how to insert a cell or rows and columns, the first thing that you will do is bring your mouse pointer position inside the cell that has to be divided into multiple cells. And now, the second one is click the layout tab and then click the split cells button. This will display a dialog box asking for the number of rows and columns to be created from the selected cell. And lastly, after you finish that processes, you can now select the desired number of rows and columns that have to go into the resultant cell. And finally, click the OK button to apply the result.
So now we will talk about on how to insert an image in the document. So the first thing that you will do is click on your document where you want to add the picture. So for instance, you want to put documentations on the document. So you need to click the document that you want to insert documentations. And second one is click insert tab. And the third one is insert picture dialog boy available in illustration group which will display. As you can see, when you tap the pictures, you have to choose where to insert picture from this device or online pictures. And lastly, select the image you want to add, then click Insert. And when you insert, the photo will show. Lastly is adding word art in the document. So the first thing that you will do is click in your document where you want to a word art. Click the Insert tab and then click the Word Art option available in the text group. This will display a gallery of word art. So now select the word art style you want to use by clicking on it. You can modify the text according to your requirement by using different options available. There are numerous options, that's why it's up to you or according to your requirement on what you want. And lastly, you may use the shape style options or the word art style options.
Good day, everyone. So I am going to discuss to you the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. The part 1 is the screen elements. So alam naman na natin kung ano ang Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Dito is ginagawa natin yung mga presentation natin sa ating mga lessons and mga subjects, reportings, and many other more. So the first screen elements is File tab. So the File tab contains basic file management commands. You can click it to check the backstage view. This is where you can come when you need to save files and create new other things or other file related options. Okay, so the next element is Quick Access Toolbar. This you will find just above the File tab. So Quick Access Toolbar contains the commands such as save and undo. So nakikita naman natin sa picture, that is the Quick Access Toolbar. Next screen element is Title Bar. So this lies in the middle at the top of the window. Title bar displays the program and the current presentation. So makikita natin ang ating title bar sa pinaka taas ng ating PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so the next screen element is help and display option. So help and display option contains help, show and hide, maximize and minimize, and the close button. So makikita naman natin dyan sa picture na that is the close button, the help and maximize, and the show and hide. So kapag nagmumultitask tayo ng ating mga gawain in our laptops, so um, ginagamit natin ang minimize or maximize or kaya naman is show and hide. Kapag tapos naman na natin ang ating presentation or PowerPoint, ginagamit natin ang close button. The next screen element is ribbon. So the ribbon and its tab contains buttons to execute commands. So nakikita natin dyan sa picture na madami ang mga ribbon. So yung mga ribbon dyan is insert, transition, animations. Kaya pwede tayong pumunta dyan sa mga yan and we can execute certain commands such as transition and many other more. Next element is Microsoft Account User Info. It shows the current user information. As you can see in the picture that the name for the user is Marcel Flores, and you can click that to see and other account options and many other more. Next element is slide pane. Okay, so the slide pane shows a large view of the selected slide where you select objects and make edits. So dito mo ina-edit yung mga info and many other more. Next element is thumbnail pane. It shows thumbnails of all the slides number in order they appear. So nakikita naman natin dito sa nakabalot na green and nakaturo pa na that is the thumbnail pane. So nakikita mo dyan kung saan magkakasunod-sunod yung mga slides mo and you can rearrange it the way you like it. Okay, so the next element is notes pane. Holds text that you can use to remember what to talk about on each other. So yung naka-rectangle na red, nakikita naman natin dyan. So that is the notes pane. So you can add your information or the information regarding your lessons and reportings. Okay, so the next element is a status bar. So it displays information about your presentation. It shows the slide number and total number of slides. So ang status bar is makikita mo lang sa baba ng slide thumbnail pane. Kaya naman makikita mo dyan kung ilan yung slides mo and yung team ng iyong presentation. So that's it. Next element is view shortcuts. So it quickly switches to available view options. So makikita naman natin dyan yung mga shortcuts and we can use this to present your PowerPoint in a certain way that you like. Okay, so the next and last element is zoom slider. So we can click and drag to zoom in or out our slides. And we can also use the minus and plus button. So as you can see here, that is the zoom slider. And we can use this to zoom in or out our presentation or our slides when we are editing. That's it. So that is the final screen elements in the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so after we have discussed the part 1, which is the screen elements, let's now move on to the part 2, which is add objects. Okay, so how do we add text box in the PowerPoint presentation? So first of all, we have to click Insert tab. Second is click the text box in the text group. So we can see here in the text group that there are word art, the slide number, the object. So we should click the text box. Okay, so the third step is drag your mouse in the slide pane where you want your text box to be placed. So last is type the information you want to appear in your text box. That is the way how to add text box in the slide presentation. So now let us move on to how to add picture through Insert tab. So first and foremost, click Insert tab. After you have clicked the Insert tab, so click the pictures in the images group. So we can see here the images group included the picture, screenshot, and photo album. So click the pictures. After you have clicked the picture, a dialog box will appear. Now you have to select the picture you want to include in the slide. That's how you add picture through Insert tab. So next is how to add smart art in this slide. So first is click Insert tab. Second is click the smart art in the illustration group. So as you can see here, there are shapes, 3D models, chart, smart art in the illustration group, and you should click the smart art. So third is a dialog box will appear and you can choose now the smart art you want to use and edit the text. So we have discussed how to add smart art in the slide. Now let us discuss how to add chart in the slide. So first and foremost, click Insert tab. Second is click the chart in the illustration group. So katabi lang siya ng smart art. Now a dialog box will appear like the smart art and you can now choose the chart you want to include and edit the text. So we have discussed how to add chart in the slide. Now we are going to discuss how to add table in the slide. So first and foremost is click Insert tab. Now click the table in the tables group. So lastly is choose the table format you want to use in the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Now let us discuss how to add audio in this slide. First and foremost is click Insert tab. Second is click the audio in the media group. A dialog box will appear and lastly is choose the audio you want to use in the slide. So that's how you add audio in the presentation. So lastly, we are going to discuss how to add video in the slide. So First and foremost is click Insert tab, click the video in the media group. A dialog box will appear, and lastly, choose the video file you want to use. You want to add in the slides or PowerPoint presentation. So that's how to add objects in the PowerPoint presentation.
Now, let's talk about how to add designs using Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. First is to modify the theme. Click the Design tab and then choose the theme you want under the Themes group. So nakikita natin sa pictures, we can click on that Design tab and then there are so many options there to choose from at mamili tayo sa kung ano yung preference natin at sa kung saan natin gagamitin yung PowerPoint presentation na ginagawa natin. Next is to how to modify the variants. Again, click the Design tab and then choose the variant you want under the Variants group. Customize according to your preference. So let's take a look at the picture. We click the Design tab again and choose the variant we want under the Variants group. Marami ding options dyan na pwedeng pamilian at pwede rin natin siyang i-customize according to our preferences. So the next one is how to modify the background. First, click the Design tab, and second is to click the Format Background in the Customize group, and third, customize according to your preference. So this Format Background option is located at the upper right corner of our devices. We can customize everything according to our preference. And for part 4, we'll also talk about how to add transitions to Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. Now, how to add transition. First, click Transition tab. As you can see on the picture, you can click on the Transition tab and then we choose the transition you want under the Transitions to the Slide group. So maraming options dyan to choose from sa transition option at pwede rin natin siyang i-customize according sa ating preferences at sa kung anong aakma sa paggagamitan natin ng presentations na yun. And now, we will talk about how to apply animations using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So to apply animation, first, again, click the Animation tab and choose the animation you want under the Animation group. So as we can see in the picture, we can click on that Animation tab and then maraming lalabas na mga options din dyan at we can choose the animation we want para sa ating gagawing presentation. Print presentation using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So in printing using the Microsoft PowerPoint presentation, kapag tapos na tayo sa ating ginawang presentation at gusto natin ng hard copy nito, ay i-click lang natin yung file at madediretso tayo nito. Dito niya tayo madediretso after nating maklik yung file at may option dyan na print. You click that print at ang magpapakita sa'yo ay ang susunod. This one. After you click the file and you proceed to print, at magpapakita sa'yo kapag pinindot mo yung print na option ay kung ilang copies yung ipiprint mo at kung anong bond paper size yung gagamitin mo at i-connect din nito yung printer na gagamitin mo. And then after nun, you click that print option at hihintayin mo yung papel and then you can have your paper na. So we're down to our last part, the do's and don'ts when using Microsoft PowerPoint presentation. So now we're talking about fonts. First is don't use decorative fonts that are hard to read and small. So i-avoid daw natin yung paggamit ng mga fancy fonts at gumamit lamang ng mga simple fonts that are easy to read.
And second is don't use all caps. Don't write in all capital letters kasi mahirap yan basahin. And third is don't use font smaller than 28 size. Use font size 28 or bigger than 28 para madaling makita at maunawaan. So next is underline. Don't underline words audience might consider it hyperlink and it is hard to read. So, wag daw nating i-underline yung mga words kasi nagmumukha siyang hyperlink or link na pwedeng i-click. Instead, pwede nating gamitin yung mga bold or italic to highlight important text na gusto nating i-highlight. And for text, first is don't use too much information. So, just keep it simple. Just keep it short para mas madaling maunawaan ng mga mambabasa at makikinig sa atin. And second is don't use key points. Use important points only. This helps people remember. Kasi kapag nagbabato ka ng mga key points, yun yung mga maaalala ng mga makikinig sa'yo. And third is follow the 5 lines rule. So, ang sinasabi dito, sa isang slide, nakalimit lamang yung lines sa lilimang linya lamang. So, para mas madaling mabasa at mas madaling maunawaan. And lastly, know that every slide represents one idea. So, one slide, one idea. Just keep it simple and clear. So, for images, don't use too many images or shapes that are not related to the subject. Choose one or two images that match the message. So, gumamit lang tayo ng mga few pictures na nakakatulong sa atin para mas ma-explain yung point natin kasi too many pictures can be distracting sa mga makikinig sa atin. At sa graphics naman, don't use too many graphics that are hard to understand and confusing. Do use appropriate graphics that are easy to understand. So, gumamit tayo ng mga simple pictures or charts na makakatulong para i-explain yung point natin and i-refrain natin yung paggamit ng mga complicated ones para maiwasan natin na ma-confuse yung mga tao makikinig sa atin. Next is animation and transition. Don't go crazy with effects, sounds, and animations. Sounds can be distracting. So, wag daw nating i-overdo yung mga fancy effects, mga sounds, mga animations na ginagamit natin. Kasi, itong mga kapag na-exaggerate natin to, pwedeng maka-distract ito at pwedeng mawala ng focus yung mga nakikinig sa atin. So, just keep it simple and nice. Background. Use a simple and effective background. Choose a background na nakakatulong para mag-shine or mag-stand out yung message mo. Just like kapag gagamit ka ng dark na text, gumamit ka of course ng light na background. At kung gumamit ka naman ng light text, syempre gagamit ka ng dark na background. So, just keep it simple at your presentation. So for bullets, avoid too many bullets and wrong alignment. Remember the 4 to 5 bullets rule per slide. So again, keep it simple. Ilimit lang natin yung mga bullets sa 4 to 5 per slide at i-align natin itong mga bullets na to properly so they are easy to read and understood. Generally, use align left bullets, approximately 5 words per line, and keep it simple. So, use align left bullets, stick to one alignment style, which is yan all left aligned, and approximately 5 words per line. So, i-avoid natin yung mga long sentences and keep each bullet point concise and to the point. And also keep it simple. Don't overdo it.
A pleasant day to each and everyone. I am Agent Vincent V. Palisok, and for today, I'm going to discuss about Excel as part of Microsoft Suite. To begin with, let's delve and define what is spreadsheet and Microsoft Excel. So what is a spreadsheet in MS Excel? So by definition, it is a sheet of paper that shows accounting or other data in rows and columns. A spreadsheet is also a computer application program that simulates a physical spreadsheet by capturing, displaying, and manipulating data arranged in rows and columns. So, ang spreadsheet is a digital table wherein you are able to input data and rows and columns, making it super easy to do calculations and analyzations of data. So another thing is Microsoft Excel as part of Microsoft Office Suite um, can be useful to other fields such as data processing and data analysis. So with the Excel application, you can do everything easily, such as doing financial reports, data visualization, and other tasks that are related to data management. So now we are going to tackle about the use of spreadsheets. So a program that allows you to use data to forecast, manage, predict, and present information. Microsoft Excel is the spreadsheet component of the Microsoft Office suite. Spread programs like MS Excel are tools that help day-to-day transactions of organizations easier and more organized. The following are sample reports of the documents rather that could be prepared and managed using MS Excel. So first is in school, students' grades, payroll, forms, sports, individual and team statistics in terms of personnel. You can use it by checkbooks, household expenses, etc. In terms of business, you can use it as computing investments, accounting reports, and office forms, reports, data presentation. So basically, in other words, the versatility of spreadsheet programs make them essential tools for both professional and personal tasks. So the Excel window part and functions. So this is very important part ano kasi we're going to discuss later on the different parts, the different functions that we should know, that we should be knowledgeable about. Kasi in using Excel, of course, we should know ni naman dapat yung mga basic para mas maayos natin ng mabuti or we can use the Excel effectively. So, we have active cell indicator. So this dark outline indicates the currently active cell. So this is yung ano, yung bold, yung highlighted cell which is um currently selected cell siya, and this indicator shows where the data entry should be occurred or occurs. Yes. Collapse the ribbon button. Click this button to temporarily hide the ribbon. Click it again to make the ribbon remain visible. So in Excel, there is an option wherein pwede mong i-collapse or i-hide yung ribbon. Ang purpose ito is para mas makita mo ng buo yung spreadsheet mo. And pwede mo rin naman siyang ibalik by also clicking the option na yung ribbon button, collapse the ribbon button. Okay, so column letter. So this plays a vital role in Excel ano kasi this system is napapadali niya yung pag-navigate and ang pag-manipulate ng data sa spreadsheet to make it look organized. So, file button. Click this button to open Backstage View, which contains many options for working with your document, including printing and setting Excel options. So, this part is ma-access mo dito yung various options ng Excel, such yung saving, opening, printing, ganon, etc. So, additionally lang, it allows you also to customize yung Excel ribbon, yung features. Yes. So the formula bar. So when you enter information or formulas into a cell, it appears in this bar. So this is found on the upper part of worksheet grid kung saan nakita at may edit ang laman ng napiling cell. So dito is also pag na-click mo yung isang cell, ang laman nito lalabas dun sa part na yun kung ano yung value or yung text or yung formula dun sa formula bar. So, this is very important, especially in editing the formula kasi in editing complex formula because nagbibigay ito ng clear na view uh, of the entire formula para hindi rin magulo or para hindi magulo ang worksheet mo. So, pwede mo rin ang palakihin ng formula bar para magkasya ang mas mahabang formula. So, para dito, ang gagawin mo lang is i-drag mo lang pababa yung bahagi na yun. So, horizontal scroll bar. So, use this tool to scroll the sheet horizontally. So, pag wide talaga yung nagamit mo na cell and column, pwede mong gamitin yung horizontal scroll bar para hindi ka mahirapang hanapin yun. So, the macro recorder indicator. So, click to start recording a Visual Basic for Application or the VBA macro. The icon changes while your actions are being recorded. Click again to stop recording. So, for example na lang, if you frequently format data in a specific way, you can record a macro to perform these formatting steps automatically. So, this is particularly useful for users who may not be familiar with the programming as it allows them to automate tasks without writing code manually. Name box. This box displays the active cell, address, or the name of the selected cell, range, or object. So, in this part kasi, you can see the address of the current active cell tulad ng A1. For example, is yung A1, A2, or the name of the chosen cell. So, this is very important because it gives way to faster navigation or para mas mapabilis yung pag-navigate natin sa worksheet. Okay, so new sheet button. So add a new worksheet by clicking the new sheet button which is displayed after the last sheet tab. So kung kailangan mo pa ng sheet, so let's take an example na lang sa pag-compute ng mga grades per subject. So in sheet 1 you have mathematics, in sheet 2 you have science, in sheet 3 you have English. So in order for you to add sheet pa is you have to click the addition sign or the plus sign beside the last used sheet. Ayan. Page view button. Click this button to change the way the worksheet is displayed. So this button lets you see how your work will look when it's printed. So it will also show you things like page breaks, headers, footers. You can find this button on the right corner of bottom right corner of your Excel window. So the quick access toolbar. This customizable toolbar holds commonly used commands. The quick access toolbar is always visible regardless of which tab is selected. So this includes the commands that are commonly used such as the save, undo, redo. This is basically easy to access kasi kahit na nasa anong tab ka meron siya. So this is very important because it shows or it makes the workflow easier and smooth. Ribbon. This is the main location for Excel commands. Clicking on an item in the tab list changes the ribbon that is displayed. So later on, we will going to discuss the different tab lists. So for now, ribbon is very important in Excel kasi it holds different functions and commands na nangyayari sa Excel or worksheet mo. So tell me what you want to do. So use this control to identify commands or have Excel issue a command automatically. So this is used to search tool that allows you to quickly find commands, features, or perform actions by typing the natural language. So the username. The name and associated image of the person login. So this is very basic naman ano kasi in this part makikita mo kung sino yung gumagamit and along with this is yung picture nung may-ari ng account. Ribbon display option. a drop-down control that offers three options related to displaying the ribbon. So as you can see dito sa illustration natin, dito sa picture is may mga option dito wherein you can collapse or retrieve the ribbon. Kasi this is very important for you to know kasi para makita mo ng mas maigi yung data, yung formula, and yung value na nilalagay mo sa spreadsheet. Row numbers. Numbers arranged from 1 to 1,048,576, one for each row in the worksheet. You can click a row number to select an entire row of cells. So basically, this is a this helps you to identify and reference specific rows in your spreadsheet. They are very essential kasi they are very essential in organizing data, creating formulas, and navigating within the worksheet. Sheet tabs. So each of these notebook-like tabs represents a different sheet in the workbook. A workbook can have any number of sheets, and each sheet has its name displayed in a sheet tab. So let's take the grades as an example, kagaya nung kanina. So the sheet 1, ang name ng sheet na yun is English. In sheet 2, math. In sheet 3, science. So kinakailangan na may identification yung sheet tabs para siyempre hindi magulo and para rin naman organize yung spreadsheet natin. Sheet tab scroll. So use this button to scroll the sheet tabs to display tabs that aren't visible. You can also go right click to get a list of sheets. So basically this is to navigate yung mga sheet tabs mo na hindi na visible sa tab bar. So mas napapadali nito yung access and yung pag-select ng sheet tabs mo, especially kung hindi na siya visible on your tab bar. Okay. Status bar. So, in Excel, it is a horizontal bar at the bottom of the Excel window. So, nagbibigay siya ng information about the current state of the spreadsheet and quick access to certain commands. Tab list. Use these commands to display a different ribbon similar to a menu. So, ang tab list is located at the ribbon. So, there are different and various tab lists that we can see in this illustration, such as the home, page layout, insert, view, etc. So, every tab list has its own command. So, basically, pag inopen mo yung insert, meron mong kapakita rin na insert photo, smart smart chart, such things like that. So, basically, lahat ng nakikita nyong tab list sa ribbon is may different function and different commands. Okay, so basically, title bar is a horizontal bar at the top of a window in a graphical user interface or the GUI. So basically, it displays the name of the program or the document itself. So it also contains the buttons for minimizing, maximizing, and closing the windows. So a vertical scroll bar, use this to scroll the sheet vertically. So this is very very basic, no? Kasi we all know naman na yung function ng vertical scroll bar in every document na ginagawa natin. So the window close button, click this button to close the active workbook window. So ito na naman is very self-explanatory. Kung gusto mo i-close yung window or yung document mo, you'll just click the X button on the upper right corner of your desktop or laptop. So the window maximize restore button. So this is very self-explanatory ulit. You will click this button kung gusto mong i-maximize yung space ng buong desktop mo. Ayan. So the window minimize button. So click this button to minimize the workbook or the spreadsheet window. So the window displays as an icon in your taskbar in the desktop or laptop. Okay, zoom control. Use this to zoom your worksheet in and out from the definition itself. It is used para kung makita ng mas mabuti yung data or yung formula or even yung numbers na nilalagay mo sa iyong worksheet or spreadsheet. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you on how to create new file or workbook in Microsoft Excel. So when Microsoft Excel is loaded for the first time, you always have to click for the blank workbook option. So when MS Excel is already loaded, click File tab, click New Menu, then click Blank Workbook option. So when saving file or workbook file naman, saving workbook for the first time or saving it to another location folder. So there are steps in that. So first step is click the File tab, click Save or Save As or press Ctrl plus S or F12. So step 2 is choose location or folder documents by clicking browser menu. Okay, take note, it is recommended to create your own folder to make your files organized and easy to manage. So don't forget that tip, okay? So number 3 is type file name and click save. So it's very important for you to type file for you to be able to recognize the file later on if you're going to open it or review it. Okay, so let's move on to saving existing workbook. So what we're going to do is click File tab, click Save or press Ctrl plus S key on your keyboard. So take note that this is used when using an updated content of an existing workbook. So how do we open an existing workbook naman? So when MS Excel 2016 is loaded for first time, we first have to click the desired file on the recent section, on the recent list. So, second is click open or other workbooks menu. Kung hindi mo makikita yung file mo on the recent section, you will have to find the workbook menu. It is located on the lower part of the recent section. So, third is locate your file, then click open button. Then if hindi pa rin mahanap, okay, so find the browse button sa left corner ng inyong Excel. Okay, then locate your file, then click yung open button. So may mga illustration pictures tayo dyan na naka-include para sa better understanding. So using File Explorer, so click File Explorer. Kung gusto mo namang hanapin yung file mo using the File Explorer on your taskbar, you will click the uh, File Explorer button and then locate your file, then double click on it, double click on the file. So existing MS Excel 2016. So there are two methods in here. So the method one is click File tab, then exit or press Alt plus F4 key on your keyboard. So on method 2, click Exit button on the upper right corner of your window. Okay, so now we are in the part 2 of our discussion, which is the worksheet and ribbon tab. So we actually discussed earlier about the definition of worksheet. So it is the digital spreadsheet in which you can organize and manipulate the data, value, and the different formulas. So in this part, we are also going to discuss the different functions of worksheet components in the Excel application or program. So first is the formula bar. So kagaya nga nung sabi ko kanina in our first part of discussion, this is kapag nag-click ka ng isang cell, lalabas sa formula bar yung numbers or yung value, yung formula bar or text na nalagay mo sa clinic mong cell. So basically, it is important nga, sabi ko nga kanina, para mas makita mo ng buo, especially yung mga complex formulas mo sa Excel. So, the insert icons dialog box in Excel is a feature that allows you to add visual icons to your spreadsheet. So, this icon can represent various concepts or objects, and they can be used to make your presentation, your data more visually appealing and easier to understand. Okay, so the name box. So in this part, this shows the address of the current selected cell or the active cell. For instance, is the A1 or the name of the chosen cell, range, or object. So this is very important because it gives way for much more efficient way of navigating the data and the values of your worksheet. Okay, so next one is we have the worksheet. So paulit-ulit na lang, ang worksheet is the digital spreadsheet that is used to manipulate data values and analyze as well the data. So next one is each worksheet is divided into rows and columns, and rows run horizontally in a worksheet and are identified by numbers and in the row header. So columns runs vertically and are identified by letters in the column header. So a cell is the intersection point of vertical column and the horizontal row. So this part the active cell. So it identifies the currently selected cell in the spreadsheet. This indicator shows where data entries or edits will occur. Okay, the status bar. So this is the horizontal bar at the bottom of Excel window. It provides information about the current state of the spreadsheet and quick access to the certain commands. And lastly, zoom slider. So this is the located in the lower right of the Excel worksheet or workbook. So if you want to zoom in your worksheet, you will have to slide right, uh, slide right the um, button there. So if you want to zoom in your worksheet, you will slide the button on the left corner. So that's basically it. Okay, so MS Excel Ribbon tab. As noted in the illustration below, ribbons are designed to help you quickly find the command that you want to execute in Excel 2016. Ribbons are divided into logical groups called tabs, and each tab has its own set of unique functions to perform. There are various tabs: Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas, Date, Review, and View. File tab. This contains commands and options that are associated with the file, such as file information, details, recent files, and Excel options. The File tabs contains the commonly used commands such as save as, open, close, new, print, and exit. So in Home tab and Ribbon, there are different basic functionalities that we students or we as an Excel user must know. So first is clipboard. This clipboard group is primarily used for cut, copy, and paste. So this will help you to easily transfer, easily duplicate data or text and format into your Excel spreadsheet. Okay, in font, this font group within the home tab is used for choosing the desired font and size. So in this option or part functionalities, you are free to browse or choose your desired font and size. Um, it depends on you whether what or which to use to make your presentation or to make your worksheet readable and presentable. Okay, so alignment. As the name suggests, this group is used for alignment of tabs, top, middle, or bottom alignment of text within the cell. Also, there are other standard alignment options like left, middle, and right alignment. So from the definition itself, so this focuses on how the text is um uh, how this text is positioned in the cell. For instance, is okay. So additionally, rather, it is the on how you fix or present the puesto of your text. Okay, number four is number. So in Excel worksheet, it is not just all about the placing or placement of numbers. It is for it is for you to control on how to show the numbers in the spreadsheet. So um it is like the and it is like on it is how you fix the position or present the form of your numbers. So number five is the style. So when we say style, in other words na lang, it is the template of these are the templates that you are able to use. So this can be applied to your cells for you to make the format presentable and easy to understand. Okay, in number six, we have cell. So it is a rectangular shape in which this is where you place your data or formula or numbers. So this is the very basic unit of your worksheet. So um, this is also the shape that um, brings the entire worksheet or spreadsheet. So the very basic definition of or and interpretation of number seven, which is the editing, is that it is a group on the Excel home tab that provides tools to quickly manipulate and manage data. So now we are in the insert tab part. So this is the associated with editing and inserting elements in your worksheet. So first we have table. So this group provides a superior way to organize the data. You can use table to sort, filter, and format the data within the sheet. So the best example for this is the pivot table, because using the pivot table will help the people or the reader to understand and interpret the data that you have put in your um, spreadsheet. Okay, in number two, we have the illustration. So this group provides a way to insert pictures, shape, or artwork into Excel. So basically, in this part or function, you are free to insert illustration, pictures, ganyan. So it is a very important toolbox to consider when writing or inputting data in your worksheet. So you can also insert apps in Excel in your worksheet. It's like when you install apps on your phone. So basically, this is the um, it is a functionality that adds external tools and features. Okay, so charts. So chart is a very useful feature kasi it helps you to visualize your entire data in a more better way. So you can use recommended charts para sa automatic na best combo, or you can also make your own options such as making your pie chart, line chart, or pivot chart. So sparklines naman is mini chart siya that is inserted sa isang cell para you can easily see trends ng numbers mo. There are three types of line sparkles, which is the column sparkle, um, sparkline, and the win or loss sparkline. Okay, so filters. So there are two kinds of filters. The slicer that is super interactive for filtering tables and pivot tables, and timeline filter that is perfect for filtering data by date. So super helpful siya kasi pag ang dami mong data pero you just want to focus on something specific. Okay, so hyperlink. So you can use this to add links to external websites or files from your Excel sheet. You can also help or use this to navigate the different sections of your worksheet para sa mas efficient, or this is better kasi mas efficient siyang gamitin. Okay, so text. So this group lets you format text however you like adding headers and footers. You can also use word art app para sa mas aesthetic, or add a signature line for a more legit look. Okay, symbols. It has two parts, which is the equation for writing math formulas na hindi mo magagawa normal in Excel, and symbols for adding special characters. Super useful siya lalo na for technical or scientific stuff. Okay, so now we are in the page layout type part. So first is we have the theme. So this feature lets you change the aesthetic and vibe of your Excel sheet. You can pick from different style or even customize the colors, fonts, and that affects to match your preference and to your likings. Okay, so page setup. So this is very important. Well, lalo na when you're printing your Excel sheet, you can set margins, um, change the orientation, whether you like it landscape or portrait. You can also change the size of the bound paper or the paper from A3 to A4, and adjust the print area and even add a background or print tiles para mag-repeat yung headers and footers. Okay, so scale to fit. This lets you resize your printout para magkasya sa paper or sa isang page. You can shrink or stretch the width and height to make sure everything looks clean and organized. Okay, sheet options. If you want to include the grid lines or the row and column numbers when printing, you can enable this feature. It's very useful para hindi ka malito sa layout ng data mo. And arrange. So this is for managing objects like image or shapes in your Excel sheet. You can bring forward, backward, align, group, or rotate elements para mas organized and visually appealing yung layout mo. Moving on to the formula tab. So first is we have the function library. So super helpful nito kasi nandito lahat ng formulas that you can use in your Excel. There are categories like financial, logical, date and time, lookup and reference, math and trig. Plus, you can use insert function para mabilis maglagay ng formula sa cell. Okay, so we have the defined name. So this is very advanced, but it is also useful. It is also a useful feature. Instead of manually looking for a cell, you can assign a name to it and call it from anywhere in your worksheet. No need to worry about it exact location. Okay, so we also have formula auditing. So this helps you track and debug formulas para sure ka na tama yung calculations mo. Pwede mong i-trace kung saan galing ang data, kung anong dataset ang affected, at gamitin ang show formula or watch window para i-monitor ang values habang nag-update ka ng iyong worksheet. Okay, so calculations. So by default, naka-automatic ang calculation sa Excel. Meaning, nag-update agad yung values. Pero if gusto mo ng manual mode, pwede mo siyang baguhin para ikaw na mismo may control sa pag-update ng iyong worksheet or the formulas.
Number 1. Data tab. It is used for organizing and analyzing information. This tab provides tools to help collect, organize, and analyze data efficiently. Data tab allows us to get external data By saying get external data, it is used to bring data from other sources like databases, websites, or other programs into Excel. Example, if you have a list of students and grades stored in other systems, you can import it into Excel for easier analysis. Next is sort and filter. It helps us arrange and select specific data. Example, if you have a class list, you can sort students alphabetically or filter those with perfect attendance. Next is forecast. Forecast helps us predict future trends based on existing data. Another example is if you track students' test scores, you can estimate their possible grades in the next exam based on their past performance. Number 2 is Review tab. Review tab is used for editing and securing a worksheet. This tab contains tools for checking, spelling, and adding comments, translating text, and protecting worksheets. Example, if you accidentally type receive, Excel will suggest to correct spelling receive. Example, you can leave a comment on a student's grade cell to remind yourself that they receive extra credit. Next one is changes. It includes options like the track changes to monitor edits and protect sheet to prevent unwanted edits. Example, if you share a worksheet with classmates for a group project, you can track who made changes and protect certain parts of the accidental edits. Next one is the View tab. View tab is used for adjusting how a worksheet looks. This tab also helps you control how your worksheet is displayed. Workbook views lets you switch between different viewing modes like normal view or page layout view. Example, if you need to print a lesson plan, you can use page layout view to see how it will work on your paper. Zoom. Zoom adjusts the worksheet size on the screen. Example, if the text is too small, you can use Zoom in to make it easier to read. Next is Freeze Panes. It allows us to keep specific rows or columns visible while scrolling. Example, if you have a long list of student names and grades, you can freeze the header row so that the column title will stay visible. Next is Worksheet tabs and views. It is used for managing multiple worksheets. A worksheet is like a page in a notebook and you can have multiple worksheets in one Excel file. Worksheet and tabs and views allows us to insert a worksheet. By saying insert a worksheet, it means to add a new sheet. Example, if you're organizing lesson plans for different subjects, you can create separate sheets for math, science, and English. Next is rename a worksheet. It changes the name of the sheet for better organization. Example, instead of sheet 1, you can rename it to class attendance for easier reference. Another one is move or copy a worksheet. It allows you to rearrange or duplicate a sheet. Example is if you have a template for a grading sheet, you can copy it for each new semester. Lastly is delete a worksheet. It removes a sheet that is no longer needed. Example, if you created a rough draft of a schedule and finalize it, you can delete the extra worksheet to avoid confusion. The purpose of this, instead of recreating a worksheet from scratch for a new set of data like going from 2016 sales to 2017 sales, you can copy the existing worksheet and then just update the numbers. The steps are: number 1, right-click the Sheet tab, and then next, select Move or Copy. And then choose the destination in the dialog and select the option to move the copy. And finally, check create a copy and then click OK, and you will have a new worksheet identical to Sales 2016. Now, let's talk about MS Excel vocabulary. The first one is active cell. An active cell is the currently selected cell in a worksheet, indicated by a bold border. This is where you enter or edit data. Example, if you click on B2, it becomes the active cell or anything you type will appear there. The second one is autofill. It is a feature that helps quickly copy data, patterns, or formulas from one cell to multiple cells. If you type Monday in A1 and you drag down, Excel can automatically fill the next day, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. Another example here is mostly on using documents. The third one is AutoSum. It is a tool that automatically calculates the sum of the range. The third one is AutoSum. It is a tool that automatically calculates the sum of a range of numbers. Examples: if you have a test score in A1 to A5, clicking AutoSum will if you have a test score in A1 to A5, clicking AutoSum will instantly give you a total score. Next is cell. It is the basic unit of a worksheet, where data is entered. It is formed at the intersection of a column and a row. Number 5 is cell address. The unique name of a cell determined by its column letter and row number. Example is C3, means the cell is in column C and row 3. Next is cell grid. The faint lines that separate cells, making it easier to distinguish different sections of a worksheet. Next is cell grid. It is the faint lines that you see that separate the cells, and it makes it easier to distinguish different sections of the worksheet. Next is column. It is a vertical arrangement of cells in a worksheet. It can be labeled alphabetically, and examples are A, B, C, etc. Columns are also used to organize similar types of data. Example is a column might contain students' names, scores, or dates. Number 8 is drag. It is an action of holding the left mouse button while moving it to select multiple cells or objects in a worksheet. Next is file. It is a saved Excel document, also called a workbook. It can contain multiple sheets with different set of data. Next is fill down. It is a function that copies the contents or formulas of a selected cell downward to other cells in the same column. Example, if a grade formula is in B2, you can fill down to apply it to B3, B4, and so on. Next is fill right. Similar to fill down but copies the content or formula horizontally to the right. Next is formula. It is a combination of numbers, cell, reference, and mathematical symbols used for calculation. Example is equals A1 plus B1 adds to the value of A1 and B1. Next is formula bar. A formula bar is a text field above the worksheet where you can enter or edit data, numbers, or formulas. It also helps in modifying complex calculations. Next is function. A function is a predefined formula in Excel that performs specific calculations automatically. Example, average calculates the average of the values of A1 to A5. Heading. The labels of columns A, B, C, and rows 1, 2, 3 which help organize and locate data in a worksheet. Next is label. Any text used to describe the content of a column, row, or section in a worksheet. Labels help identify what type of data is stored. Example, a column titled Subjects contains subjects names like Math and Science. Next is a row. Row is a horizontal line of cells in a worksheet, numbered from 1, 2, 3, etc. Rows also help us organize data into different categories. Examples are, each row can represent a student with different details like name, age, and grade. Another one is sheet tabs. Sheet tabs, it is the small tabs at the bottom of an Excel window that allows you to switch between different worksheets in a workbook. Examples, you can have separate sheet for class attendance, grades, and project in one workbook. Next is workbook. The entire Excel file that contains multiple worksheets. Each workbook. Another one is workbook. The entire Excel file that contains multiple worksheets. Each workbook can hold different set of related data. Example, a teacher might have a workbook named Students Record 2024 with different sheet for attendance, grades, and remarks. Lastly is worksheet. A worksheet is a single page inside an Excel workbook that contains columns, rows, and cells where data is entered. Example, a worksheet could store a class schedule, student, grades, or financial records. Now let's move to part 3. So the title of part 3 is Operators, Formulas, and Functions in MS Excel. So what are operators? Operators are symbols used in formulas to perform different types of calculations, such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So let's talk about the 4 different types of calculation operators. The first one is arithmetic operators. It is used for basic math calculations. Example, in Excel, if you type equals 5 plus 3 in a cell and press enter, Excel will display 8. Next is comparison operators. It is used to compare values and returning true or false. Example in Excel is if A equals 10 and B equals 15, typing A1 is less than B1 will return true because 10 is less than 15. Number 3, text concatenation operator. So, this is mostly used to join text together. Example in Excel is if A1 is equals to good and B1 is equals to morning, typing equals A1 and B1 will result in good morning. Reference operators. So it is used to refer to cells or ranges. Now let's talk about the precedence of operators. The first one is parentheses. Whatever is inside the parentheses gets solved first, just like in math. Example is equals 2 plus 3 Example is equals parenthesis 2 plus 3 parenthesis multiplied by 4. First, we will add what's inside the parenthesis, which is 2 plus 3. Then, we will multiply 5 times 4, which will be equals to 20. So, why did we do that? Because the parentheses make sure some parts of the equation get solved before the others. Number 2 is the exponents. When we say exponents, it's mean raising a number to a power, like 2 raised to the power of 3, which means 2 times 2 times 2. Example is equals to 2 raised to 3, which will result in 2 times 2 times 2 equals to 8. Why? Why did we do that? Because Excel handles exponents before multiplication or division. Next is multiplication and division. It is usually done from left to right. Multiplication and division are equally important to Excel. So Excel does them in the order they appear from left to right. Example, 10 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. First, 10 multiplied by 2 is equal to 5. Then, 5 times 5 is equal to 55. So why did we solve it like that? Well, since multiplication and division have the same priority, Excel just solves them from left to right. The fourth one is addition and subtraction, done last from left to right. Once multiplication and division are done, Excel moves on to addition and subtraction. Example is equals 10 minus 2 plus 3. First, 10 minus 2 is equals to 8. Then 8 plus 3 is equals to 11. So, why did we do it like that? Just like in multiplication and division, addition and subtraction are solved from left to right. Number 5 is comparison operators. It is usually done at the end. Comparison operators check if something is true or false. Example of comparison operators is 5 plus 5 is greater than 9. First, we add 5 plus 5, which will be equals to 10. Then, 10 is greater than 9. So, is 10 greater than 9? Yes, then it's true. So, why does it do that? Because Excel only checks for true or false after all the math is done. Now let's talk about the basic formulas and functions in Excel. Excel formulas and functions helps us automate calculations instead of doing them manually. So, what is a formula? A formula is a calculation that Excel performs based on what you enter. All formulas start with an equal sign so that Excel knows you're making a calculation. Example is, if you want to add 5 and 3, you should type equals 5 plus 3 and the result will be 8. You can also use cell references instead of numbers. So what is a function? A function is a built-in formula that makes calculations easier. Instead of writing a long formula, you just use the function name. Using multiple arguments in a function. When a function has multiple arguments, each argument must be separated by a comma. Arguments can be individual values, single cells, or a range of cells. This allows Excel to perform calculations using different sets of data in one function. Working with arguments. Arguments in functions are the values, cells, references, or ranges used for calculations. They must be placed inside parentheses. A function can have a single argument or multiple arguments depending on what is being calculated. Properly structuring arguments ensures accurate results in Excel. Parts of function. A function in Excel follows a specific format called syntax to work correctly. The first one is equal sign. Every function starts with an equal, so Excel knows it's a calculation. Function name. This tells Excel what to do. Example, sum for addition, average for finding the average. The next one is arguments. These are the values or cell reference inside parentheses that the function uses to calculate. When a function has multiple arguments, each argument must be separated by a comma. Arguments can be individual values, single cells, or range of cells. This allows Excel to perform calculations using different sets of data in one function. Now let's talk about the commonly used Excel functions. The first one is the sum, which is adds number. We use this when you want to add multiple numbers in a range. The second one is average. We use this when we want to find the mean, which is the average of a group of numbers. The third one is count. We use this to count how many numbers, not including the empty cells or text, are in a range. The fourth one is max. It helps us find the highest value. We use this when you want to find the largest number in a range. Number 5 is min. It is used to find the lowest value. We typically use this when you want to find the smallest number in a range. Now let's talk about the common errors in Excel formulas. The first one is a column is too narrow. When a column is too narrow to display, a number Excel will show hashtags instead of the actual value. The solution for this is to widen the column by dragging its boundary or use the auto-fit feature. The second one is division by zero error. This usually occurs when a formula attempts to divide a number by zero or an empty cell, which Excel treats as zero. The solution for this is to ensure the divisor is not zero. The next one is the unrecognized text or function. This usually happens when an Excel does not recognize a function name, a name range, or a text in the formula. The common causes of this is that it is misspelled function names or missing a quotation marks around the text. So the solution for this is to always double check function names and use quotation marks for text values. The fourth one is invalid cell reference. This occurs when a formula refers to a cell that has been deleted or moved. The solution for this is to check for missing references and update the formula accordingly. The fifth one is invalid data type. This error appears when Excel cannot perform a calculation before an incompatible data type. The solution for this is to ensure the correct data types are used in calculations. Examples are numbers instead of text. And lastly is the circular reference. This happens when a formula refers to the same cell where it is located, causing an endless loop. The solution for this is to adjust the formula to avoid referring to the same cell. If needed, enable iterative calculation in Excel settings.